So when most people hear about the U, I think they picture like the trash talking defenses with playmakers all around, like once in a generation dudes. They picture the skill position groups with like the O1 running back room, the loaded tight end and receiver rooms there. I mean, that O1 running back room literally had four NFL dudes in it, which is crazy. Three of which were Clinton Portis, Willis McGahee, and Frank Gore. But my point is, they usually picture the flash, the bravado, the spectacle, which is what Pat McAfee did jumping off a high dive in the pool. Like that's what you expect when you're thinking about Miami. And the nostalgic guy in me and in a lot of us, I think, latches onto that, especially because not only the Pat McAfee stuff, but like last year's team two with Cam Ward and the swag that he brought and the crazy throws and the high flying offense. You know, they were third in the nation in passing yards per game last year. Cam Ward ended up being the number one overall pick, had the like celebration and all that. But this year's team's different. The stats prove that or show that. The film shows that. And this Florida game really drove that home for me. Their strength on both sides of the ball is in the trenches. Fact. It's not skill players. Skill players are easier to talk about, but both sides of the ball, it's front seven defense and offensive line. That's the strength of the offense. They're not really concerned about entertainment value. And that's what you get when you hire an offensive line coach and Mario Cristobal to be your head guy. They're wearing opponents down. That's what's happened in Notre Dame, which that should be Notre Dame's strength. That's what happened with the USF game. And that's, again, what happened against their rival, the Florida Gators. By the time I'm filming this, there's been no Napier news, so we'll keep an eye on that. But they're just making opponents fearful of their ability to just wear them down. And they don't want any part of this. It's not necessarily the flash. It's built in the trenches, which, again, I think the average fan thinks, hey, pizzazz and flash. That's not the case. And that showed in that game. Carson Beck was 17 for 30, 152 yards, one interception, one sack, no touchdowns. That film, though, was a lot better than that stat line might suggest, which we'll get into that. I got 3 plays of Carson Beck that I'll break down. Mark Fletcher Jr., they do a lot of that, like 2 running back formations, which, again, speak to the new identity. He had 24 carries, 116 yards. Miami's now up to number 2 in the country. But like I said, it's different this year. When you look at Carson Beck stats versus Cam Ward stats, Carson Beck, yards per attempt against Power 4 opponents, 6.5 yards per attempt. Cam Ward was 8.9. Last year, much more explosive downfield offense. Cam Ward made a huge name on that of like the crazy throws and extending plays and chucking it down the field, which was great for SportsCenter highlights, but I don't necessarily think that's the recipe for winning a championship. On the flip side, goes hand in hand, turnover-worthy plays. Last year, Cam Ward, 1.2 per game. Carson Beck this year, 0.5 in 2025. Offensive line-wise, better in 2025. 9th in run blocking for the Canes, 12th in pass blocking against Power 4 teams. Keep in mind, those Power 4 teams are Notre Dame and Florida early on, and a USF team that still looks really good. In 2024, they were down to 38th in run blocking, 16th in pass blocking. And the 38th in run blocking was very much their Achilles heel a year ago. And side note, Florida's left tackle, Markel Bell, is like the largest human being I've seen in college football this year. I looked at the roster. They have him at 6'9", 345. Anytime you're voluntarily putting an offensive lineman at 345 pounds, you know he's like 375. It's just like a basketball player, even a football player, but a basketball player who, you know, if he's six foot tall, his roster height's going to be 6'2", because you just, you know, you want to make him feel better. If you're putting an offensive tackle at 345, that's not good. You want your tackles to be 320, 315, 330. You're 345. That's a red flag looking at the NFL. So I'd be willing to bet that dude's 6'9", 375. It looks freaking crazy. And then their right tackle is a stud NFL guy as well. But now that you said that, look at their left tackle, Markel Bell. He is stupid large, but athletic and gets the job done. Point being, both their tackles and the offensive line is big time. And with that, let me share my screen, because when you have an offensive line that's big time, and you got a quarterback that you believe in, you can do some good things. I've been super impressed with Carson Beck. And those of you guys that have followed my content closely, I was a little bit of a hater on Carson Beck. I was not drinking the Kool-Aid last year when everyone was saying he was the number one quarterback in the country. I never said that. But I'm to the point now where if the NFL draft was tomorrow, I think Carson Beck's a first-round draft pick. And here's a few plays for why I think that is the case. He gets through his progressions as well as any quarterback in the country. That is not a sexy thing to say, but when you're an NFL scout, it is a valuable thing to say. Check this out. First play right here. TikTok, I got footage on YouTube. I'll try to be better next week. That right there, that just looks like, oh, it's an easy completion. He completes a 12-yard curl. It's third down. It's not easy. One, it's raining. Two, it's tight coverage. And three, there's a reason you don't see a lot of college quarterbacks be able to complete intermediate passing game, which that's become like a huge point for me this season. There are so many college football teams that have zero intermediate passing game. Zero. It's non-existent. Why? Because you're asking your quarterback to process reads. You're asking him to throw into tight windows. It's a lot easier to just have RPOs and then take your shots and kind of just skip out on the intermediate passing game. This play right here, YouTube, check out this footage. Carson Beck, dropping back. He's reading a route to his left. He's got three receivers to his right, and then completes this ball, which is an accurate throw. He throws that ball right on the left-hand shoulder of this slot receiver. The reason I'm highlighting this specifically, look at his eyes right here, staring down the middle of the field. I guarantee he knows that I'm third down. I got a little option route to my right in that slot. Option route meaning receiver can break out or break in. He knows he's going there the whole time. His entire drop, his eyes are to his left. He even glances right there. He even glances more so to his left. That receiver on the left. He's trying to displace this linebacker so then he can rip his eyes right back. He's already made his decision. He's already pulled this trig before he's going, or before his eyes are all the way back there. Rips this accurate ball, left shoulder pad. If that's on the right shoulder pad, might be picked or broken up. That looks like an easy completion. Most college quarterbacks can't do that. You get a first down. And oh, by the way, NFL scouts, when they're watching that film, Carson Beck can throw the ball in elements. He's throwing tight spirals when the ball's wet and when it's raining the whole game. Again, good sign NFL-wise. This is another example, and you're gonna be like, Max, why you show me the incompletion? What are you talking about here, dude? Why he's been so good, you have to show me the incompletion? This is a perfect example of, one, running back should catch the ball, but two, he is processing at a high level. Most quarterbacks aren't even getting this ball out of their hands because they're not able to process their reads this quickly. He's going to start working towards his left, full progression, third down. He's processing two receivers to the far left-hand side. He's going to work his eyes back to this 15-yard curl route, and he wants to hammer this receiver on his right-hand side. He's about to do that, but then when we get to the back end, there's a defensive end that floats into his vision, works to his left, works to his right, about to pull this trigger, but this defensive end or outside linebacker is floating into this window. That's a catastrophic interception waiting to happen. Pulls the ball down. Oh, by the way, feels this blitzing safety or linebacker, whoever this guy is, in his face. You have the linebacker, you have the safety, and in literally a half second, he goes from trying to rip a 15-yard curl to evading the sack, evading the terrible turnover-worthy play, getting the ball out of his hands, and checking it down to his running back. He's getting to his fifth progression in like a second and a half. That's an excellent job. You got to catch that. He's got to make a better throw, but my point is, this is big-time quarterback play. There's a lot of NFL guys we're talking about right now that don't even get to that level of a progression. And then this one's interesting. This is more of just kind of a football nerd concept to me. So if you've got this far in the clip, you'll like this one. And I'll rip through it. But right here, it's third and long. Carson Beck had just thrown an interception. So how do you respond? You're always looking at that as a quarterback. He's going to draw back. Florida's going to do something called a green dog blitz, meaning If the running back stays in to protect, then the linebacker is going to trigger right away and blitz Carson. Look at how quickly Carson realizes what they're doing. Oh, linebacker Green Dog, he's blitzing. By the linebacker blitzing, that means nobody is covering this running back because the linebacker thinks the running back's protecting. Right away, Carson recognizes that, gets the ball down to his running back, and it goes for a 25-yard pass gain. Little thing that's not sexy, that's not going to make Sports Center, but this is high-level quarterback processing. Gets the ball, drops back. Oh, linebacker's blitzing. That means no one's on my running back. Let me get it out. And responding, not being rattled after he throws an interception. This is big time. The back end view is even better. Carson Beck showed me a lot, and I was not a Carson Beck guy the past 18 months. I was this is a good example that I want to show you guys. We got to work on the celebration though. Look at his celebration. This is weird. What is this? He jumps. He doesn't fist pump. He hits himself in the nuts. What is that? What are we doing here? That is we got to work on the celebration. He's got the tattoos and the leg sleeve and the swagger. Well, we got to work on that celebration because that ain't doing it for me.